Hello friends, I hope the intro video amazed and updated you with the ongoing scenario of how our data is getting stolen and hacked. This video is about my SC205 discrete mathematics project. The topic of my project is encryption of data by secure hash algorithm 256. It is also known as SHA-256 in short. Now let's begin with the introduction part. My motivation to choose this topic was the increasing concerns of how our data on the internet and our private information like passwords, credit card information, etc. are getting stolen and hacked day by day. So, the important question that arises here is how can we protect and secure our data? Many different algorithms are available out there which provide state of the art security, but the reality is there is no guarantee that your data will be 100% safe. Many websites still use the old data encryption practices and are most vulnerable to attacks. Thus, it becomes a serious problem for service providers that what can they do to provide maximum level of data encryption. Researchers have spent years on building specific algorithms which are designed to provide state-of-the-art security. And thus, the solution is to use latest data encryption algorithms which are not cracked by hackers till date. So, in cryptography, we primarily categorize encryption algorithms as symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption, and hash functions. We are going to take a look at the SHA-256 algorithm. It is a part of the SHA-2 series hash functions. So whenever we are given an input message, we pass it through the SHA-256, which is our black box here, and we obtain 256-bit output hash. This was the simplified procedure of encryption. Now let's take an overview of the SHA-256. SHA-256, designed as a part of SHA-2 series by the United States National Security Agency, was first published in 2001 by National Institute of Standards and Technology. The message passed through the SHA-256 algorithm is stored as a 256-bit hash on server's database. The advantage of this algorithm is that the data can't be recovered if we only possess the hash. Now let me explain you this with an example. Suppose someone is motivated to hack the server's database and steal the email ID and password of users. Then they won't be able to crack the password by using the hash only. Now let's take a quick look at how SHA-256 algorithm operates. First, the input message is passed to the padding function. I will talk more about padding in later slides. The output message from the padding function is passed to a compression function where many mathematical and logical operations take place. Finally, we get the 256-bit output hash. Now I will explain the padding process. The input message to the padding function is appended with 1 and 0 bits first. The resultant message is again appended with 64-bit binary format of the message length. Thus, the final message now becomes of size which is multiple of 512. The equation L plus 1 plus k congruent 448 mod 512 has to be satisfied for non-negative values of k. Here L is the size of input message. The 1 in the equation indicates the 1 bit to be appended. K represents the number of 0 bits to be appended. Now let's take a look at the padding of message SC205. This is the original message SC205 in binary form. Now below is the message after padding. The next slides will cover about the compression function. In compression function, we pass the padded message through the message scheduling algorithm. The outputs generated by message scheduling algorithm are given to 64 rounds which are present in the compression function. I will explain the message scheduling algorithm in the next slide. So in the message scheduling algorithm, we perform following procedure on the padded message. First, we break the padded message into n 512-bit blocks. Suppose padded message is of 1024 bits, then n will be 2. In second step, we take the ith message block and break it down to 16 32-bit keys. In third step, we assign these 16 keys to rounds 0 to 15 in order. Then you may think, how will we assign the keys to remaining rounds? For that, we assign the same 16 keys to the remaining rounds 16 to 63. Now let's take an overview of the compression function. The compression function consists of 64 rounds as we saw in the block diagram. Each round has 8 message digest. Each message digest is of 32 bits size. Thus, output we receive from each round is of 32 times 8, which is equal to 256 bits. The initial hash value of each message digest is fixed. All the operations carried out in the compression function are all modulo 2 power 32 operations. Each round has also a constant key assigned to it, which is used in calculations. This figure shows how operations are carried out in the rounds. There are many different functions like ch, sigma 1, ma, sigma 0. To have a look at the definitions of these functions, I suggest you to take a look at my project PDF. Now let's take a look at what happens in the ending stage of the algorithm. The above process I described is repeated for 64 times for n 512-bit message blocks. Hash values of each message digest are updated after each stage. Also, each of the message digest are reassigned as seen in the previous figure. After the last stage, final hash is obtained by appending the hash values of all 8 message digests. This was the technical description of the algorithm, and I hope you understood it well. Now, can we completely rely on SHA-256 for data encryption? Let's find out the answer in the next slide. Though SHA-256 is a good algorithm for data encryption, it cannot be considered as the strongest encryption algorithm. Algorithms like SHA-512 Advanced Encryption Standard, that is AES, provide much stronger security and encryption than the SHA-256. But we are at advantage while using this algorithm because it takes 2 power 128 computations to crack, which can take a very long time. Now let's talk about the applications and significance of the SHA-256. It is used widely in many security applications and protocols like TLS and SSL, PGP, SSH, SMIME, and IPsec. It is also used in different databases to encrypt the user entered password. Now whenever the user logs in next time, the hash stored on the database and hash generated from password entered are compared. If they both match, then it implies that the user entered correct password. SHA-256 and SHA-512 are proposed for use in DNSSEC. Unix and Linux vendors are moving to using the SHA-256 and SHA-512 for secured password hashing. Increasing use of Bitcoin cryptocurrency has made it necessary to secure online transactions for which SHA-256 is used. SHA-1 series was primarily used before SHA-2, but after Google was successful in creating two PDFs encrypted by SHA-1 having the same hash, the use of SHA-1 declined and SHA-2 algorithms rose to prominence. Now coming to the commercialization part. As we know that many SSL certificate providers use the SHA-256 already, so we can try to add a feature or modify the existing algorithm. I plan to convert the 256-bit hash to binary form and shift it left by 10 bits and then store it on the database. The algorithm is new and haven't been in the market, so it will take some time for hackers to crack. The modification itself will require a lot of work and deep insight into the security aspects. We can have success in this plan by doing a startup and providing security solutions to new websites and apps. I appreciate you for taking time in watching this video. I am thankful to Professor Gupta for assigning this project because I learned something new which made me aware about data privacy and security.